So let me get this straight, Matt. You paid some kid in South Korea to boost your account all the way up to the max level in Battlefield 6 already? I mean, that's fine if you want to go that route, account boosting, get all the weapons unlocked, showcase them before anybody else, but I just thought that kind of activity was reserved for like the billionaires of the world, but I guess it's
when you want to be the very best, you gotta take it to the next level.
Yeah.
By paying someone to do it, I guess.
Take it to the max level.
Did this actually happen to somebody?
Well, no, I'm just making a joke in reference to like...
Oh, so it didn't even happen. You're just making up stories at this point. Okay, so we're just making stuff up now. All right.
You caught me, Matt. You caught me.
You're getting to the point where it's not even based off of someone else. Okay, all right.
I was making an Elon reference to when he got caught boosting.
Oh, I see. I got you.
There you go. Welcome to the Level With Me podcast, everyone. Today's a special one because, I mean, we've just been in a dark room sweating and playing Battlefield for like
I was like, we've been in a dark room sweating? What
could have gone anywhere, Matt. I know you got excited for a second. I could see the look on your face. You're like, what? What have we been doing?
Where is this going?
We've just been playing Battlefield 6. It's out. And Matt's probably some ungodly level at this point.
Not really.
The progression is a bit tough in it, isn't it? It's not quite as fast as you might expect.
Let's put it mildly, yeah.
Yeah. I've been having a blast with it. Just to say from the start, we played a little bit together over the weekend, I think, Friday, someday.
Yep, all blending together, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. I like it. It's not without the critiques. I got a nice long list of critiques for the game, but DICE delivered where it counts, where it matters. It is a fully functional, fun Battlefield game that, and I'm going to put this feature at the top of my list. It's really easy to play with friends because you and we've been playing long enough to know that, you remember when we tried to record Squad Up on a weekly basis?
Yes, it was miserable.
The average time it took to get 4 players into a squad on a server playing together, that's all it was, Battlefield, the game of teamwork and team play. To do that, it could take like 30 minutes on average, sometimes even longer, to like 45 minutes just to get people in the same squad. It was an absolute nightmare. And this time around, couldn't have been easier, man. You join up the squad. Yeah. There's a couple little bugs with it here and there, but for the most part, you can get a full squad going, jump between servers, jump between game modes. There's almost no downtime. People just jumping into the franchise now will be like, yeah, of course it does that. Why wouldn't it? But you haven't suffered for the decades of just like horrible matchmaking and queuing and all that stuff. It is so nice to have that quality of life there.
Yeah, I agree. And you can even if you have a more than 4, while it's still a little clunky because you can't have platoons, which I hear they're potentially adding. If you join on a friend, you will join their server and you can just play with more than 4 people as well. It's a little clunky because you have to go back to the main lobby if you're not in the main squad and then join up again, which can be a little awkward and you might get into a queue every single round, which is annoying. But yes, you're right. For those 4 people in that squad, it's quick and it's easy.
Yeah. Okay. So
it should work.
I didn't hear that they're adding more platoon joining.
I heard
features.
that was something that they were thinking about doing. So I don't know for definitively if that's going to be added, but I believe it's on the list of potential options coming.
Yeah. I could see there being a pretty strong counter argument to avoiding that, because if, 20 people join a server and they're all like sweaty, try hard.
It may never actually come to fruition. Yeah.
It could be reserved for the dedicated server rotations.
I could have swore that was a part of the thing where they were like, here's things that we're thinking of doing list. And I could be just misremembering.
I might have missed it. I'm sure some of the Battlefield info has slipped through the cracks on my front. There's just been so much going on with everything Battlefield related lately.
It's hard to keep track of like, what is a leak? What is, speculation? What is with like the amount of things that are being thrown at the wall these days. So. Yeah. I could also be wrong.
Yeah. So It's been fun. Like there's been a couple little issues on launch day. Anybody who apparently bought the game on EA app couldn't like play it.
Yeah. Their response though was pretty incredible and unexpected.
So the basically ask for a refund and buy it on Steam response, is that the one you're referring to?
No. So if you couldn't play the game because whatever reason on the EA, you bought. So I think, to my understanding, because I wasn't part of it, is people were trying to buy or they pre-ordered Battlefield, and on launch day it said that they didn't own the game or whatever, and they couldn't play the game for hours and hours on end. I think even Vince Zampella was like really frustrated with the EA app and stuff like that, because people couldn't play the game that they bought, and obviously people were frustrated, rightfully so. And so EA's response wasn't, "Oh, sorry, here's an apology." No, they apologized by giving everyone 12 1-hour double XP tokens for, I think, your actual rank and your hardware, so your weapons and stuff like that. And then on top of that, you also get one battle pass for free. You either get Season 1 if you didn't get the Phantom Edition, or if you got the Phantom Edition, you get Season 2 for free. Nice. So I think they more than compensated for the brief outage, but relatively brief outage in the grand scheme of things on day one. I thought it was like, okay, yeah, I think, yeah. I think there may have been people that have been like, damn, I kind of wish there was an outage on Steam as well, because holy cow, I would love to have a free battle pass too.
Yeah. Other than that, and I thought some of the responses have been like, who bought it on EA app? Which is funny. That's
a lot of people.
Yeah, that's where I used to buy the game before they launched it on Steam. And then once they started launching it on Steam, I was like, okay, yeah, not buying it on EA app anymore. Yep. But otherwise, the launch went off pretty smoothly, and we're able to just get in there right away. I remember booting up the game, and it was like, you're in a queue of like 300,000 people. And I went, what? I'm not going to play this today. And then 5 to 10 minutes later, I was in and playing all day. So it was great.
Yeah.
Whoa, Matt, what the heck's going on, dude? You know what's good?
I don't know.
We're in our first ad placement for the podcast. Can you believe it?
It only took us 2 years, but we made it.
We're sponsored, baby. Now, I got our first sponsorship from this little mom and pop company, this tiny little shop. They sell video cards. They're called NVIDIA.
Oh, I think I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Little tiny company. You may have seen them on the stock market or something like that. But they've got these new 50 series cards. I've got one, Matt. You've got one. Yep. They are back in stock right now. There was a while when you might have shopped around for a video card and not found one. They were in high demand. Well, they are now restocked and reloaded, Matt, in those stores. And they work fantastically with Battlefield 6. I don't know about you, but I have been tweaking my settings quite a bit. If I turn on the multi-frame generation at 4K, Matt, with ultra graphics, ultra settings, I'm getting around 400 FPS in multiplayer. 400.
Yeah, I go for around 115 FPS to about 350 FPS. So I don't have as a beast of a card as you, but it is a significant jump.
It's pretty crazy technology. I don't even know what I'm going to do with all those FPS, but I did. It was so fast that I impulse bought a stupidly expensive monitor that can refresh at 240 hertz at 4K. And it looks insane. I've never seen anything look this good before. NVIDIA is progressing our visual tech at a rate that I didn't think would be happening this quickly. I thought I had another couple years before I had to do a monitor upgrade, but no. The 5090 is a beast, and I'm getting like 400 FPS in Battlefield 6, and it looks incredible. So check out these new GPUs. Again, they are restocked, so you can actually buy them. There's a link in the video description to check them out. And thank you, NVIDIA, for sponsoring our first podcast. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool, indeed.
First impressions, Matt. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 10.
Well, I wouldn't go 10 out of 10. It is, I think, one of the best foundational Battlefields that we've gotten in a hot minute. You could argue Battlefield 1, is up there as well. But it is at a foundational level a really consistent game so far. It is definitely got some cracks here and there, and I feel like part of the game was a little rushed at times. I feel like certain aspects like maps and balance and stuff like that probably got a little bit was rushed out the door a little bit quickly.
Yeah.
But the core gameplay loop is just really satisfying. I cannot express how much fun I had, especially day one, taking out helicopters with RPGs left, right, and center. It was just the most satisfying thing It was a blast. I had a ton of fun.
You were on fire. I think when I was playing with you, which was not for that long of a period, maybe 4 hours or 6 hours, something like that, you shot down like, I don't know, 5-6 choppers at least. At least.
It was nutty. I was loving it.
Yeah. I agree with you also. The foundation of this game is solid. It feels like a game where you can't point to any major feature that makes it incredible, but it's all the tiny little quality of life features added together where you're just like, oh, it's all the stuff that we've like wanted for so long in a Battlefield. Oh, the game's never had this kind of easy system to do this, or I could never customize this thing, or it just didn't have all these nice little features in it. And it's got so many more tiny, tiny little features that make the general experience so good. On top of that, the gunplay, the squad play, the combat is really fun. Like, it's not perfect. It's not perfect across the board, but it's pretty darn solid. I can have a good time on just about any map I join. I will say that one map, it's very orangey. Sobek City. Do you know that one?
Sobek City? Yeah. That one's a little rough.
That one I don't like. That one I think the level designer for that map was Satan, because the whole map is just a bunch of construction towers with little zip lines to get up to them, and then snipers at the top of those construction towers, teams of snipers sometimes with claymores set at the little zip line spots everywhere, and they don't play the objective. So the team that doesn't get the towers just wins the round by default if you're playing on Conquest or something. And then they just snipe you the whole round. And so you're just trying to run somewhere. Oh, I got sniped. Oh, I'm going to get up on this tower. Ha, I cleared this tower. But the other tower is all set up to snipe me. So they just snipe me from that tower. It's a freaking nightmare, and it's ugly as sin. And I don't like that.
I do think it's an ugly map. So that's when I was mentioning briefly it feels like certain aspects were rushed. I do feel like some of the maps were actually rushed out the door. And New Sobek would be one of them. It's literally copy and paste of the same structure, essentially, just, in different areas. Everything is just the same color of dirt, which is fine, because,
some places are dirty, Matt, okay?
Some places are basically just a desert, and I understand that, but
don't dirt shame the dirty cities in the world.
Right, but the quality and the map design of like Siege of Cairo or Manhattan Bridge. I think Manhattan Bridge is really fun, and it's tons of unique environments. And like you can go inside of like buildings, and there's like shops and, apartment complexes and stuff like that. And then you go to New Sobek, and it's just a bunch of construction with literally staircases that go to nowhere. Like it literally just goes and there's just a wall, and you're like, what is this? Right. It just feels like they needed a little bit more time on the amount of maps that they were going to introduce. On top of that, and the one thing that really bugged me is they announced, I feel like at the very end or right before the game launched, like, hey, the one of the maps, that's only available for Team Deathmatch and Team Deathmatch and like Squad Deathmatch. Sorry, you all thought that it was going to be maybe another smaller infantry conquest. No, it's only for the smaller game modes. That felt like a kick in the shin.
That one is really weird to me too, because okay, we have our infantry only maps from other games like Metro or the BF4 Lockers map, but they were in the Conquest queues. They were in the Breakthrough queues. Yeah, they didn't play great on Breakthrough with 64 players crammed in, and Breakthrough's not even 64 players anymore. It's 32 now, but they still included them in the main rotation. And I'm finding every single person on the planet's like, hey, where's that map that we were getting 9 maps, right? I haven't played the 9th map.
Yeah, we don't actually get 9 maps. I disagree with theirs. I mean, we technically do. And on top of that, just to make matters worse, I guess, is that the Saints Quarters is essentially just the Iberian Offensive map, but colorful. It's got the same style of buildings. It's got the same, like, facades on the, like, it's that, but they actually added like color paint to the outside of the buildings. And that's like, it's gorgeous. I really like the look of it.
It's one of the few maps that doesn't have terrible color grading on it. So I'm like, oh, that's such a pretty map. I wish I could play it in any mode that wasn't some sort of TDM match, squad death match or whatever. That's sort of a weird thing, and I don't like it, and I don't think they should. If you're going to make a bespoke map for anything, because they did do this in the past, they made bespoke maps for like Rush, but why would you make a bespoke map for TDM, like the one mode that is going to be the least popular?
If you're going to make a map specifically for a game mode, at least have it for be like Rush or not Domination, Breakthrough. Yeah. And I completely agree. So I feel like they were a little rushed for time.
Yes. Yep.
And they one of the things that fell through the cracks is they just didn't have a lot of maps ready to go, and they're like, okay, well, I guess we're just gonna have to make do, because that's what it feels like. That may not actually be the reason, but
I think you're correct. I think the maps are the weaker part of the game. It's not to say that they're terrible. There's only one that I really don't like, and that's New Sobek City. Like
Sobek City, yeah.
It really just sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah, it's fine. That's fine.
But the other maps I can play, I can have fun on them. And I see the debate where people are like, this map's great, this map's not good. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Some of the maps I really like, other people don't, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And so that's fine. That happens with every single game. But there's also a big visual quality difference that you were mentioning between the maps. And it's this weird thing where you're like, you play on Siege of Cairo and you're like, damn, this game looks good. And then I personally think that the New York maps have like this really weird visual style to them, and they look not great. I love Manhattan Bridge for gameplay. The gameplay is so much fun on that map. It is awesome. But the graphics feel really undercooked. Like they didn't have time to finish baking the interior lighting or whatever they were doing. And if you look into the distance, the texture, it's like the textures didn't have all the the lower resolution versions made for them properly or something. And the resolutions of things just go to crap at a distance. You look at like a brick wall that's like 100 meters away and it's like fuzzy. And you're like, what am I looking at?
I have noticed that too, yeah.
Yeah, so it feels like they had a really good idea for that map, and it's such a cool layout. And then they just didn't have the time to finish the art side of it. And so it's got this horrible color grading. The auto exposure is the worst on that map.
God, dude.
It's so bad.
Some maps are just like, I can't physically see anything. This is ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, that feels like a map that got cut off on the way to greatness. Whereas like, it's going to be the best map ever made and we're done. The art department's like, we're not done yet. And then they're like,
even though, yes, I see where you're coming from. I really like the Manhattan one because like it starts off and there's everything's pristine. And then by the end, you've got like what normally would have been a bunch of buildings are now crumbled. The facades are crumbled. And you can't punch through to the other side because you still need to have map flow and map balance. But it's enough destruction where it just makes it feel like, holy hell, you're actually in a war-torn environment now. So I think they absolutely nailed that aspect of it. But I do see where you're coming from.
Yeah. And despite those visual critiques, I still think it is possibly the best urban fighting map that I've played in any video game. It is so good.
Good, yeah. It's definitely fun.
The rooftop fighting, the building to building fighting, like just being able to run into buildings, go up floors, a tank hits the wall, the whole side of the building crumbles off. You're like diving out, you're going up on a rooftop, you're having rooftop fights. Helicopter does a strafing run, which will be more fun when both the helicopters spawn into the map.
They keep doing hot fixes and they don't hot fix that. I'm like, what are you doing, DICE?
I think it's more than just choppers too, Matt. There's a lot of breakthrough matches where you're like, you don't get the tanks on the attacking team. And so they have the tank spawns.
So there's something
something's going on. Yeah, they got 2 tank spawns, and I'm like, we haven't gotten a tank all around, and they're not charging up, and this is really hard to break through.
I figured they would have fixed that right away, because it's really awkward to have one team with literally a helicopter that, while weak, in some regard, is still really powerful in the right hands. Like, you can go on some absolute tears with that thing.
Yeah, we had a good chopper pilot on the enemy team when we were playing, and it was a nightmare. Like, they could just get out of there before we could shoot it down, and just kept killing us over. And they must have had 50, 60 kills on that thing easy, So yeah, that was tough. And the vehicle spawn bug is a pretty bad bug. They need to get that fixed as soon as possible, because it is, I would call, game breaking at times, especially on the breakthrough maps where you need your tank and APC to push through the first objective, and it doesn't spawn, and you're like, oh crap, like, this is gonna be a tough one, guys. All right, let's go.
I hear you.
So yeah, that one needs to get fixed. What's your favorite maps in the game? Like, top map, would you say?
So love Siege of Cairo, Manhattan Bridge would be up there. Those are probably my top 2 so far.
Yeah.
Those would be my top 2.
Those are the
There's
really...
not a lot, unfortunately. One of my biggest issues with the game. There's not a lot. So
yeah, I think I would agree with you there. Those are the top 2, and then because I like my big vehicle maps, Meerok Valley is sort of like
Meerok Valley's solid.
A close runner up, and I think it plays pretty well on the breakthrough modes, although that is one of the maps where the vehicles are broken on breakthrough. So that's a problem for it. But I think it plays well on all the modes, and it's one of the few maps where you actually get to go out in the forest and shoot people with a sniper rifle and stuff. Like, you just can't do that on any of the other maps in the game right now. So if you want
Which is such a great thing that you bring up, because boy, have they made some of these challenges for certain unlocks to be quite challenging. I mean, it's living up to the name of a challenge, because boy, I feel like they may have kind of gone too far.
This falls into the category of what you were saying of maybe pushed out the door before it was properly tested or thought about. I know a couple of the challenges you're probably going to bring up. I've certainly gotten to the point where I could unlock the last sniper rifle in the game. However, I will not be unlocking the last sniper rifle in the game, because the requirement is to get 150 headshot kills at 200 plus meters away. You know how many headshot kills I've gotten at 200 plus meters away, Matt?
10.
I haven't gotten any yet.
0. Wow. Okay.
I haven't been specifically going for it, but all the times I snipe, it's like on a breakthrough mode, and they're just not 200 meters away yet.
Yeah, they're not.
You got to get on a conquest map and be like, all right, I'm going to shoot at that one dude.
To go for it.
Yeah, I got to shoot at that one dude who's coming out of deployment right now, and he'll be 200 meters away. It's such a joke of an assignment, and I think the person who wrote that assignment should have to complete it as punishment for writing that assignment.
And it's not just that. There's others where to unlock certain LMG, and so I wouldn't mind these if they were for like a dog tag or a skin or something like that for a character. Fine, but it's for weapons that you can use or gadgets that you can use.
The spawn beacon is not a fun one either. That unlock sucks. Like,
I haven't even done that one yet. What does that one require?
Okay, no. So it's not hard like the sniper rifle is hard, but it's not fun. You have to use your adrenaline pit.
Get kills after it. Yeah.
So you have to inject yourself and then go and try and kill people with it, which is weird because the adrenaline syringe feels more like a tool for moving around quickly as opposed to using right before you turn a corner. And it's only active for a few seconds. Yeah. So it turns into this weird situation where you go, I'm going to enter a building. I hear the guys in the building, use the adrenaline syringe. Hopefully nobody peeks me while I'm using it because it has like a 2-second activation time.
Takes a second, yeah.
Then you run in there with almost no benefits, by the way. The adrenaline surge just gives you a little bit of sprint speed and damage reduction to explosives.
Damage reduction to explosives, and I think it also minimize or it amplifies enemy footsteps, I want to say.
Something. I don't even know if
Yeah.
that's still on there, but yeah.
Okay,
It does a
well,
couple of little things that are supposed to make you better at combat, which it doesn't
Yeah.
really. And then you got to go get 30 kills while doing that, but it doesn't seem to track them consistently. So you'll get into
and
a
that's
round.
one thing people have been
Yeah.
constantly, and me included, like it doesn't feel like they're tracking. Like I'll heal teammates and then I'll look at the score, like the tracker at the end
Yeah.
of a round. I'll be like, I only healed 200 HP, like an entire
Yeah.
conquest match. Like really? That's all I did? Pretty sure I was putting those things down whenever I could.
I think there is some tracking stuff, and it's sort of like, you've probably bumped into some of the weird hit reg stuff that's been happening too, where
A couple issues.
I was in a tank and its bullets just stopped impacting people. Like
Oh.
to the point where it wasn't
Yeah.
just me being like, I totally hit that guy. It was like there was a dude standing still, oblivious to the fact that I'm putting 200 rounds of LMG
Pelting
right
into him,
through
yeah.
his body. And then he's like, hey, stop that. And not a single bullet was connecting. And for like a good 2 minutes in the round, my tank was not damaging anything. And I thought I was like losing my internet connection or something, but everything else in the match was running fine. And if I got out of the tank, I could shoot people. But just the tank was just like, nah, we're not going to connect bullets. And it made me think, I'm like, are there other things in the game that are running on whatever this hit reg system is that apply to tracking stats on things, you know? Where, yeah, I had a couple rounds where I'm like, man, I must have got like 20 kills using that syringe that round. Like I was on fire. Used it, run into a room with a shotgun, get like 4 kills. At the end of the round, it's like, you got 3 kills.
You got 3, yeah.
And I'm
dude,
just
it's
like,
so tilting.
what? Yeah, pulling my hair out. So that's a really important unlock too, to put behind such a painful assignment.
Agreed.
So like, okay, fine. You want to put the best sniper rifle behind a challenging assignment? I can understand that. Not that that's a good assignment. It's still a terrible assignment. But a spawn beacon or something that is crucial to gameplay and building on a squad and teamwork and stuff like that, putting it behind a terrible assignment is just like, what are you guys doing, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. There's one for the LMG where you have to get hip fire damage. And like,
Yeah.
for LMGs, like what are we doing right now? You can use the DRS with the green laser, and it's not actually that bad. I thought it was going to be much more painful. That thing is actually very, very good.
Yeah.
And even hip fire. So there's ways of getting around, but it's like, stop forcing me to play a different way. They definitely don't want to do for a weapon. Fine for like dog tags or skins or whatever as a reward. I'm totally fine with that. Because then, you can make it a challenge and then you can show off your reward for it. But when it's a gameplay feature, that's where I start to get a little.
And it's something like 10,000 damage, hip fire
damage. It is
damage.
like 10,000 damage, yeah.
With an LMG, which is like basically not the
kills.
way you're supposed to use the gun, at least at the start. And then to make your LMG good for hip fire, you've got to like rank it up so far.
A decent amount.
So,
and then that gets into the really slow progression system. Like, holy, does it take a long time to level up these weapons?
Yeah. I don't totally mind that because I think it's cool that you can spend so much time with a gun and still have more stuff to unlock. And there's like 30 optics per weapon, which is cool. Mm-hmm. Many of them are redundant, but that's fine. It's style choices. And for whatever reason, you have like 4 different lasers. You're like, it's a laser or it's not a laser. And like, no, the blue laser. Your hip fire is amazing with a blue laser. Okay, whatever days.
Yeah.
It's the Star Wars rules. You start with red and then you upgrade to green. And then if you get blue, oh man, it's craziness. But I like the progression. I like being able to keep using a gun and constantly getting unlocks for it. That is fun, but it's super out of whack with the order in which you get things. And then it's completely out of whack with vehicle progression. I max out the helicopter maybe in 2 games, maybe less. I don't even know.
I've heard that you can unlock everything basically instantly.
Yeah. So all the vehicles. Good. Yeah. If you get in a tank, you can easily go on like a 20 to 50 person kill spree, especially if you're in the gunner for a tank and on like a breakthrough round, it just gets insane. So you can max out a tank in a round, no problem. It's totally insane. And then a gun, you're like, all right, I've been using nothing but this weapon for the last 12 hours and I'm halfway through. It's just total insanity.
Or not even halfway through. It is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't like you said, I don't mind that things are taking a little bit longer, but it feels like they're creating a problem to sell us the solution. And I don't think they're going to straight directly sell the double XP tokens, but I do think they're going to be in the battle pass. And I do think that's going to be a thing that fills up the battle pass to be like, hey, if you want to be able to level up these weapons a little bit faster, get the battle pass or grind that out, because then you'll get a couple of these tokens to help you along the way. And a little conspiracy, but I do think that is probably.
I think you're right. I think there's a strategy there, and they're like, as long as we make these guns take like 20 hours a piece to rank up, now we've got an economy. We can sell them the XP. Because, I didn't realize that we weren't going to be getting a lot more of those XP tokens, so I burned mine quickly. And I used a bunch of them, like couple of hour ones, where I had to like log off after playing for like 10 minutes. I was like, oh, I got to go do a thing. And they just count down when you're not in the game. What the shit?
Incredible. I don't know why games do that. I don't understand.
Yeah.
So many big AAA companies do it that way. And like, what are you doing? In what world do you think this is appropriate?
It's really It's really devious. And you don't get that many in this game. I thought there would be more.
Right.
So they're not like 4x XP. Like that would be crazy.
That's double.
It's just double. So it's not the end of the world that I wasted them, but it's still annoying.
Yeah.
What do you think about there's a little bit of a discrepancy with some of the weapons in the game. So like I can pick up an SMG and just like laser beam people at like 100 meters away. I pick up an assault rifle and I'm just like, man, 30 rounds. And I think I tagged that dude like twice, maybe 3 times. If he's prone on a roof, forget it. I'm not getting that kill. Like so few of my shots are gonna.
Some of them.
Yeah, some of the weapons just have an insane amount of bloom, and things felt. A lot of people are saying it felt better during the beta, and it sounds like there was a bit of an overcorrection to some of the beta feedback on these guns. And now some of the weapon classes that you would expect to be better in certain engagement ranges are not very good, like the assault rifle, for example.
I haven't really touched those. I've been playing like engineer the entire time just because I love taking out helicopters with my RPG. It brings me so much joy. And so I've been using basically just the SMGs. I have been playing on the open weapon system.
Matt, you've been playing for a week. Like,
yes.
And you've only been playing.
And your point,
okay.
Sir?
Hey, man, you're just you're a dedicated dude.
I like what I like, All okay.
Right.
I don't want to see any judgment coming from you, young man.
Your audience wasn't like, hey, Matt, have you thought about maybe
when you take out a helicopter level cap,
else?
everything else can be ignored when you see that giant fireball because it feels incredible. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So I did try using some of the assault rifles.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like early on, they're pretty rough. And that I think goes back to the progression. It'd be nice if I could level them up a little bit faster so I could try them with certain attachments. And then maybe that little bit, having a little bit less horizontal recoil or what have you would be enough to make that gun.
It doesn't help that
better.
much. Doesn't help that much.
Yeah, that's the thing I was worried about is it won't help a lot. The SMGs are really good.
Yes.
As you said.
I love them.
I mean, the MPX is fantastic. The SGX, which is basically the MPX, is really, really strong. There is one where you only get 15 rounds, but it hits like an absolute truck.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that when I get the 20 and 25 rounder, it's going to be a freaking monster. Yeah. Because the thing holding it back is that 15 round magazine. You give it 10 more, and you're going to be cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So
P90
SMGs
is fun.
Really
it's got a little bit of kind of like pull to one side, but 50 round mag, like, so much fun. I like the MP7 too. I was using that with a 3x scope and just sniping people. They're so accurate.
The carbines, from what I've heard, haven't used a lot of them, if I'm being honest. Apparently are really solid. They're pretty consistent, but there might be the assault kit may have gotten a little bit, kicked in the teeth a little bit. Because I haven't tried it. So
yeah. I just unlocked a higher level assault rifle that like it's like one of those custom assignments that you have to finish.
Yeah.
And that one is pretty darn good. But just about everything I've gotten before it, I'm like, don't like this, don't like this, don't like this. What is going on with this weapon bloom? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with tap firing and all that stuff, but there's just it blooms so quickly that like you'll hit your first few shots and then after that you're like, forget it.
Yeah.
And then you're getting dropped. I'm losing firefights against SMGs at range, which just feels weird, you know?
Because it should feel weird.
Yeah.
It's not normal.
Yeah. And if DICE had a specific plan for how they wanted engagement range balance to be, then that'd be fine as long as it was kind of communicated. But this doesn't feel like their plan. It feels like they screwed up.
Yeah, I think they probably did based off of that.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of personal experience so far with the assault rifles. I tried them a couple of times, didn't really do very well. And I was like, I'm just going to stick with my engineer. And that's what I did.
Yeah. You can kit them out to the max. They can be, it's funny. Everything seems decent as in hip fire. So like you put enough laser sights on an assault rifle and you can just kind of hip fire it in CQB. Down. Yeah. So there's some ones that you can make work pretty good.
Yeah. The DRS is the IAR is freaking incredible. It's
the carbine.
Like you put a couple
Which one is that?
No, this is an LMG. It's classified as an LMG, but it has 30 rounds.
Yes,
it's
that one.
Very good. And I'm like, holy cow, this is incredible. So I hear people like, oh, everything's just like super bloomy. I'm like, every weapon that I've been using has been amazing.
That's funny because that weapon performs how I would expect an assault rifle to perform.
Right. Yeah.
And then you get an assault rifle and it's just like bzz, all your bullets.
Once again, kind of getting into the whole like I feel like the game was a little rushed out the door. Like the foundational like gameplay stuff is really good, but there's just like these oddities where I'm like, how did this get through the the QA, right?
Yeah. It's weird because they have like this parts of the game feel really well polished. And then other parts are like, yeah, they didn't finish this one. Then they just had to put it out the door. And that's what we got. And you could say that about class. You can say that with 100% assurance about class balance because we saw them move the spawn beacon from the recon to the assault class last minute. It was on the recon during the beta. And they're like, oh, nobody's playing assault. I guess we'll move the spawn beacon over. And you're like, oh yeah, this shows how much testing you really put into the classes in the game because I think the assault class is borderline worthless just as a class. Right now it's just a spawn beacon carrier. That's its best ability. The ladder is kind of cool and it can be really fun.
I think the ladder is very cool.
I think the ladder is cool. But it's best when you're playing with a squad. If you use it by yourself and you've got some randos that have no idea that you're creating cool pathways, then you're just like, guys, look, I made an awesome flanking route. And then it's just you. And you're like, well, I can only do so much with that. But I'll say in a squad, it's more fun. But all my time, I'm having a hard time finding a reason to play anything other than engineer and support. Like,
that's where I'm at too.
Yeah. Recon I'll play it when I want to annoy people with a sniper rifle, but whenever I pick it, it's not because I think it's going to help the team out massively. I'm more just picking it because I'm like, I'm in the mood to just snipe, you know?
Yeah. I think the signature gadgets is an interesting idea, but I think it vastly benefits your engineers and your medics, right? Because like one of them is I can heal and repair vehicles or teammates, and the other one is I can stim myself to slightly run a little bit faster out in the open. It's like, okay, cool, right? Like that's
but I have to take a full reload sequence to do it, which in this game will get you killed half the time, you know?
Right. I think once people get more of the unlocks, that'll start to I think the assault kit will start to become better because I remember during the beta, and this has been nerfed, so it probably won't be this crazy, but people were using the thermal barrack and stunning and doing crazy damage, and like that thing was really strong.
Okay.
And so I think in the right hands, I think assault players will be really good, but I think people haven't gotten there yet because it takes so freaking long to unlock all this stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fine in some cases.
The base grenade launchers suck, man. They are not good.
Not very good.
Yeah, you've got the one that can like break through a wall, which doesn't.
Yeah, that one sucks. I don't even think it actually works, actually.
Yeah, so there's something wrong with it. And then you get the one that's just basically a grenade launcher to do splash damage, and it's super weak. Like, you can kill people with it, but it's so like slow and clunky and weak that you're just like, I'll just take a ladder. Like, I'm not gonna use this. I'll just take a ladder.
I love the ladder though. It's so cool.
It's fun. It is. It's fun
because you can use it as a ladder, or you can use it as a surface to run up, and then you now have a different like head glitch spot that you can use on certain locations. I think the ladder is going to be pretty good in the long run.
I think, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think they messed up with the Sledgehammer. The Sledgehammer is so good and useful, and letting any class just equip it without any requirement, I think, is a mistake. They could have given it to the assault class as like one of its abilities or something.
Yeah. One
of my favorite metas to do right now is on Firestorm. Go up to the roof of those buildings and you just bash a little hole and then you just kill everybody inside. And then you move over and then they all go, hey, there's a guy up in that hole there. And they all aim in it. And then you walk over somewhere else and you bash another hole and you kill all those guys. And
which is pretty cool.
It's so cool. And you can do that with any class. And so I'll throw it on support and then just lay down with an LMG and just an entire squad of people, and it's pristine. I like that a lot. I really love bashing through walls with a sledgehammer. It's so good that I feel like it should be some sort of class gadget, or like you could replace the adrenaline syringe with a sledgehammer, and I think that would actually make the assault much more interesting, but...
Well, I mean, considering they already have it, you'd be taking something away from them. So I don't know if I'd agree with that entirely.
Yeah. I feel like that adrenaline, they're going to have to do something. Like, that adrenaline syringe needs something else. I don't know what it is.
It did originally heal you. So I think they toned it down because they didn't want it to be just playing as Assault as the one-man army where you just have a stim that you can just pop whenever you want to heal yourself.
Yeah, it was the BF5 heal kit, basically.
Right.
Yeah, they got some work to do on class balance, for sure. It's funny, too. You can tell, like, the engineer has, like, 1,000 unlocks for its gadgets. It's like, oh, you want an EOD bot? You want a cool different kind of mine? You want 50,000 rocket launchers? You want all this stuff? And then, like, you look at the recon class, and it's like, I don't know, you could... fly this drone.
You can fly a drone, which is cool. The drone is very cool.
It's very useful.
It's a cool gadget.
Yeah. But you're also just flying a freaking drone and spotting guys. Yeah. You can put C4
or
on it. Or
blow up mines.
Yeah.
You can blow up mines and kill people with it, which is really, and especially considering there's 1,000 mines on the battlefield right now because everyone is using, and this is one thing I am changing subjects a little bit.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk balance when everyone is just getting started and everyone is using the base kit. So people are saying that vehicles suck and you can't move 2 feet because there's mines everywhere. Well, there's mines everywhere because it's the only gadget you start off with as the engineer. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, there's going to be mines everywhere. So once they get further along in the progression and they've switched on over to, I don't know, something else.
Mines.
Burst mines. But you know what I mean, right? Yeah. Like there's, once they get further in, it will be...
The balance will change. I think there will still be a crap load of mines everywhere.
I agree, yeah. But there's also a counter. There is I think a secondary for your driver, or not the driver, but the gunner gets a counter that I think they can either see them. I haven't used it yet.
Yeah.
But the description is like basically anti-mine. Mm-hmm. So it will either make it easier to take them out or something. So there will be counters to it.
Have you been using the EOD bot at all?
I've not, no.
It's fun. It's quite funny.
I imagine so, yeah. Because it can also lay mines.
Oh, can it? I didn't even try that.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you can drive underneath the tank and just repair it to death. It's hilarious. They don't know what to do. They don't see it coming. They're just like, why am I dying? They're looking around, and I've gotten a bunch of tank kills with it that way, and it's quite funny.
Nice.
But also, it does good damage. It's easy to drive. You can get kills with it. Like... You don't want to be out in the open. They'll kill you pretty quick, but there's a lot of tight-knit, crazy maps, and you can easily get up into a building just spawn your EOD bot, drive it down, and start using it to harass guys on a point before you go in. And they'll kill your EOD bot, be like, what was that? And then you peek out and then waste them all. It's like there's some fun little combos you can do with the engineer.
Nice.
I like it. I'm sure people are going to find all kinds of like putting C4 on it and whatever, just make
I'm
it.
sure. Absolutely.
Just make it crazy. I do like that those little combos are coming out and they're C4ing people with the little UAVs now and all that. Or I've seen people doing some fun stuff with ladders too. 2 assaults can climb up a ladder. Like if you have a flat wall, you can put a ladder up and then another assault can climb up and put another ladder up. And you can.
I tried that and it didn't let me do it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, maybe I'm bad. I don't know.
Well, maybe it was just a specific wall or like there's something up with that wall, but I saw these guys do it and I was like, oh, wow, okay.
You're getting pretty high up there.
Yeah. So there's some interesting little glitches and stuff you can do. So I like that. The gadgets are fun. They open up really cool, fun gameplay opportunities that there weren't as much of in some of the other Battlefield games. So that's cool. Yeah. I like that a lot.
How do you feel about the overall vehicle balance right now? Because I've heard mixed opinions. Some people are saying that like tanks and vehicles suck and they're worthless. And I've seen games where they go on a tear.
Yeah.
Granted, it requires teamwork to do it, but they just absolutely destroy everybody.
Tanks and IFVs are very good. Like if you overcommit, you can die before you even realize what's happening. Like I've seen infantry take me out in such like I've just gotten hit by like 3 different engineers like within the span of a second and you're dead. And that's that. And they're glass cannons and that's how they were in BF3 and BF4. And if you're not used to that and you've been playing a lot of BF1 and BF5 where these tanks are these kind of slow lumbering beasts that just take a whole squad of people focusing them to take them down, then this might seem weird to you, but it feels more appropriate because of in the BF3, BF4 context. I like the glass cannon approach. It would feel weird if they were really slow and clunky and just 8 tons of rounds. I'm not as big of a fan of that kind of balance. It makes them a little bit more of skillful vehicles to use. There are some problems though. Anti-air tank. I don't know who balanced that thing, but you can't kill any aircraft with it.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's insane. I sat in one and had jets doing low flybys over me and I'm like, and it's just the jet's like, hey, stop that
right now, young man. I'll be right back in 2 seconds to deal with you.
So maybe there's some upgrades for it, but like I'm never going to upgrade the thing because I can't shoot anything down with it. So there's just some stuff where I'm like, I think somebody forgot to enter a 0 in the stat field for that. The bullet velocity is like so slow. So yeah, that doesn't feel that well balanced. Jeeps and the smaller vehicles are fun. I like them. You can shoot out of the passenger seat. The guns, the 50 cals on top are powerful. You can do some work with them. If you pull up and a squad's not aware of you, you can absolutely decimate a whole squad.
Tear them,
yeah. Choppers, we flew them together. They're fun, I think. I think they work pretty well. I haven't gone extensive into all the different loadouts with them, but there seems to be a decent amount of options. However, I have a feeling that most vehicles are just going to be, this is the best way to run the tank. Like, don't, you're not going to have your version for this mode and your version for that mode. It's probably all just going to be the same version, but they do at least have the loadouts when you spawn in. So if you do have, say, a chopper that's more geared towards killing infantry versus killing armor or whatever, you could make that choice when spawning in pretty easily, which I like. You don't have to do it before you get the chopper. You can do it after you get the chopper. Same with tanks and any other vehicle. So that's
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a huge quality of life update because, if you spawn in,
before you couldn't.
Yeah, right. And so if they're dominating you with air, you might go, well, I'm picking my anti-air chopper. But if your jet pilots are dominating the skies, and you're like, I don't really need to help them. I'm going to pick this. I'm going to pick the 4 powerful rockets plus my guided rocket. The pilot can get a super powerful.
To deal with ground.
Yeah. So you can just go full ground build. I I like that. That's cool. That's like the game's got all these like little hidden features that actually make a huge difference once you get deeper in the gameplay and the meta. And you're like, oh wow, this is super useful, and we've never had anything like this before.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some growing pains for people when it comes to especially the tanks on the ground, because on the one hand, I do think in the right hands they're very powerful. But you need to be coordinating with infantry, and that's also true for in real life. Not to go to the real life example, but like a tank by itself is going to get destroyed. Like it needs infantry support, right? And that's true here because you need to have someone to repair. You need to have a gunner on top to watch your back and make sure that you're not getting flanked by an RPG or what have you. But also, the maps are very laney, and it can make it difficult to, you don't have just an open field to be able to like avoid the mines, right? Like it's a lot easier to just have mines in the middle of a street because you know that if a tank's going to come by, it's going to be in the middle of the street. There's no real other ways for them to be able to move around. And because these maps are also so intricate with the nooks and crannies, a person can get a flank on you very easily too. So yeah, I think there's going to be growing pains once things kind of settle and people get better at the flow and how to use the tanks. I think they're going to be pretty good. I'm not like super worried, but I also understand why people are pretty frustrated in some ways, because you can't just jump into a tank and start wrecking it. You got to have a little bit more coordination.
Yeah. It all feels par for the course. I think some of the controls are a little clunky. Some of the third person aiming stuff's a little weird and you got to get used to it. But other than that, I've been enjoying them. They're not like the most fun things ever to drive around and do stuff with. There's definitely some physics glitches. Have you noticed? And this is one of those things that I feel like now that I've really spent some time with the game and I'm becoming more aware of the nuances. As infantry, I find myself like bouncing up onto things a lot when I'm not expecting to.
No, definitely. The Goomba stomp, like Mario jump out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah. It's super. I was in a firefight with a dude and I left strafed and there was like a little broken wall with a ramp on it. And I ended up like on a second story windowsill and shooting the guy. And he was probably just as confused as I was. And I somehow won it, but I did not intend to do any of that. And I'm just like, what is happening right now? I just side-strafed onto a second story balcony. Like this game's got some weird stuff going on.
I was shooting at someone in front of me and they literally jumped over a wall.
Yeah.
And I was like, how?
That actually reminds me, I just played a game of Firestorm this morning and it was breakthrough. And this guy on the enemy team, we're all like watching, the ridge that they're all going to come over. And this dude just jumps over the ridge and everybody just unloads on him in the air. And just, it's so funny. Yeah. And I was just like, that guy did not mean to do that.
There's some weird oddities with the movement at times. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, you're like, what the hell just happened to my character?
Yeah. Firestorm and like maps. Firestorm has all these cool things that explode in it, like all the fuel tanks and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes you don't think they're going to explode because they don't look, some of them are so big that you're like, no, this is a static structure. I can snipe from the top of it. And like my favorite thing is when a sniper is up on one of those giant oil tanks and they're just like, blow it up, this is my spot. Thing. And you're like, I'm going to shoot an RPG at that. And the whole thing goes nuclear. And he's just like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And it's just like, it's so funny. I've done that like 4 times now.
Yeah.
It's funny every time. Also, guys trying to climb those like 100-foot ladders in Firestorm up to the top. And you're just like, I was in a tank and just like spraying them down over and over and over again. The snipers so desperate to get to their little sniper perches at the top.
So try to get the 200 kills at 150 meters. This is the only place to do it.
And me and my gunner were like trading kills on these guys for like 5 minutes. It was so funny. I'm warming up to Firestorm a lot. I didn't like it as much at the start because they added so much cover that it really changes the vibe. There's a lot more cover
now, yeah.
And I'm like, it's just not quite what I remember, but it's something new now, and I'm liking the new. So, and I'm really liking breaking through those rooftops on those buildings. It's like,
it's a blast. It's a good time.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know what? I'm going to put Firestorm up in my top map list as well.
There you go.
Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
it's
not
classic for a reason.
Yeah, maybe not Siege of Cairo good. Breakthrough's not that good on it, but Conquest is still fantastic.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. Let's see what else, man. I mean, shotguns are fun.
I mean, obviously, we have to conclude with the best feature, the UI.
Oh yeah. The UI. So what do they call it? The streaming service user interface, which is the front end. I just call it console UI. That's what is happening whenever you have a controller. They're like, you couldn't possibly handle some sort of menu system. We're just going to give you gigantic icons that you can only see 3 of on a screen at a time. And then you're like, oh, wait, are there other game modes off to the right that are hidden here? Like, what a stupid system. Once you learn it, it's fine. Like, it's not going to stop you.
It's fine, yeah.
But it is bad. And then that user interface combined with the settings menus.
Oh, my goodness.
I found out, I sort of discovered this, but they duplicate your settings in like 10 different areas.
Yeah.
So you're going through and you're like, wait, is this a different sensitivity for the helicopter? No, it's the same one that I've seen in 3 menus now.
Yep.
Who thought it was like they were making the menus and they had an argument about which category this should be in? Should this be in world controls or vehicle controls or whatever? And then they're just like, we'll put them in all the menus. And it is so confusing until you realize what they did. And then you're like, why did you do this?
Because they have the aim one is probably the most egregious, because they have normal sensitivity, and then you go into the sub menu and it's like, okay, so there's sensitivity, which is called aim sensitivity. So you're like, oh, that must be when I'm aiming down sight, right? Mm-hmm. Nope, it's just your general like looking around. And then there is aim down sight sensitivity. Then there is the uniform aim sensitivity coefficient. Mm-hmm. And then there's also all of the aim sensitivities for all of the different magnifications, which is great, by the way. I'm glad that they did that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, what dials am I supposed to be moving here? And like, once you kind of understand it, it's easy to like dial it in. But the fact that it takes you a while to get to that point is like, something's a little off.
You got to get out your graphing calculator before you make any changes to your settings system. Yeah. Also, there's a couple things in there that bother me where like they have, by default, your vehicle boost is set to toggle. And I'm like, I like I like hold on my vehicle boost. The problem is the gameplay system is a toggle boost. So once you push to hold your boost and you let go, you get rid of your boost for a while. You don't get it anymore. So like when you when you activate your boost, it's on for So
I gotcha.
They give you a toggle option, which kind of breaks the gameplay. So I'm like, it's cool that they gave me this setting, but if you wanted to create a boost system that is not designed for a hold versus a toggle, then don't give me the option to hold it. It's stupid.
Right.
So
I see what you're saying.
They're like, we gave you all the options, so many options that you can break the game with them. I'm like, all right. Like, it probably happened because somebody changed how it worked later, and they never took the setting out. But there's some stuff in there where you can break stuff if you're not careful, which I have. Also, I've got joysticks sitting here, and I was like, of course, desperate to figure out how to bind my joysticks in the game. They can kind of work with the controller. It's really weird. It sort of interprets your joystick as an Xbox controller, but it's super jank and all over the place. It's so close to having...
Not quite there.
To having actual joystick inputs in a Battlefield game, which is something that like so many people have wanted forever. Maybe they could do it. This is the game where they've just gone bananas with the settings. So it's like, give me native joystick support in a Battlefield game. That would be amazing. Cool. Also, Tobii eye tracker, flying the chopper, when you got to nose down to go quickly forward. In real life or any other flight sim that has eye tracking tech, you would look up with your head so that you can see where you're going, as opposed to looking down at the ground and
I have to go into third person when I do that just to make sure I'm not going to hit something. Yeah.
This game would be so dang cool if they had Tobii eye tracker support. It's like, it's a pretty popular device now. It's used in like every flight sim known to man. And it would not be hard for them to set up. I swear a dev could do it in a few days because they already have free look. So you just connect free look to the Tobii input and you're good to go. It'd be kind of amazing. I wish they would do it. It would make chopper piloting so much more enjoyable, but pipe dream, man. PC player pipe dream. Maybe one day. I was hoping this would be the game, but they didn't quite get it there.
Overall, though, even though we kind of were a bit nitpicky there throughout,
there is a lot to nitpick.
The game is fun. The game is a good time.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful that with like season 1 coming very soon, that the maps are going to be bigger, because I do think the maps are on the smaller scale, without a doubt.
Yeah.
There's not enough of them. That's my biggest issue. There's just not enough of them, not enough variety. And they'll be able to shore up these nitpicks, because they are nitpicky. Because at the end of the day, I'm just enjoying my time in Battlefield. Like it's just been a blast.
Yeah, I agree. I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm having more fun on maps that I thought were not gonna be that great. Kind of like Firestorm. I didn't like it at first. I spent some time with it. I'm liking it a lot more now. But yeah, a good percentage of the maps are really tight-knit infantry.
Yep.
And if you, and here's another thing we should talk about.
Go for it.
Map rotations, server rotations. There's no dedicated servers.
Oh,
so,
yeah, dude. I went from Firestorm to another map, back to Firestorm to another map, back to Firestorm. I'm like, okay,
yes.
I love Firestorm, but good God, I want something different. Like, please.
This is a weird oversight for DICE to make, because any amount of playtesting would have shown this as being a pretty big issue, right? Like a dedicated server that we've had in pretty much every past Battlefield game would rotate through the entire roster of maps. Or it would give you a voting system at the end of the map, and then players can vote between a couple of things and pick. But this one just randomizes it every time, and that randomization does not make sure that you hit every map. In fact, I was just talking to somebody who's like, I've been playing for 8 hours and I haven't played Firestorm once, dude. I want to play Firestorm. And it's like, I hear that from everybody, where people are just like not hitting the maps that they want to hit. And you can go in and try and queue up specifically for a map that you want. It works about 50% of the time for whatever reason. But that feature also is not well advertised, so you might not even realize that it's a thing.
That's there.
So they got to do some fixing with that. They got to get it to a point where you're hitting the different maps, because I think that's part of what gets me frustrated after a play session, especially when it queues up my least favorite maps back to back and then has me bounce between them. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like, I want to play Meerok Valley. I never queue for Meerok Valley on Conquest. And it's like one of the maps that I really like. So they need to do that. They need to not just be like, Portal will fix everything. Like, Portal's going to do some cool stuff.
I heard the Portal servers are only 30 hertz and not 60 hertz. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if the main servers are 60 hertz, but I know people were expressing it's like, man, it'd be really nice. It's great that all this is free, and Portal is it's gonna be slow. It's gonna be a slow start. But it'd be nice if you could buy your own server and have it be a higher tick rate, like 60 or 120, and then you could actually have a community built around that, and then you're not having the downside of only being 30 hertz. But we'll see where things go. I
haven't really spent any time in Portal.
Neither
they have two types of servers that I can tell so far. There's the XP farming with bots. Which is just like, I don't even know why that's a thing. It's so stupid. And then because it just breaks progression ultimately. And then you have the learn how to fly server. And those are the two types of servers.
Or Call of Duty maps, where people are making small Call of Duty maps. And they're doing it. I found it really funny, because people are like, man, all these people complain that all the maps are like Call of Duty. And then when Portal comes around, all you do is make Call of Duty maps. Like, why aren't you guys making Strike at Karkand or Caspian Border? It's like, well, it's because they can't. Because you have no terrain tools at all. You can't add or change the terrain. And so it'd be awesome to make it Strike at Karkand. And I think people absolutely would if they could. But because you can only make it with inside of the maps that are already there, it only makes sense that people are making a shipment or a Nuketown or something, because
for sure.
you only have so much space.
I saw Danny on PC made a map that is on top of the bridge on Manhattan Bridge, and he like put a whole bunch of covers, so it's just a long linear thing. It's like
right.
But that is kind of what you're limited to. You got to work within the bounds of the map, and so you got to find an area that's open and exposed to make stuff with. DICE has said that they're going to have a blank template map at some point for people to just start with a blank canvas. And
I heard that they're thinking about it, but I don't know if it has been confirmed.
You might be right. It might be more of what they would like to do versus what is 100% going to do. And they have said that they would like to add terrain editing tools as well. Right.
So, they do that, and then all of a sudden it then
you can do anything.
You just have everything. Yeah.
We're going to be playing Roblox and Fortnite modes and Portal. It's going to be great.
There you go. Easy peasy.
We'll be playing. We're going to be like, you guys play the base mode of Battlefield? No, dude, it's all about bumper cars now. That's the new thing. It's just endless.
That's where it's at.
We just play bumper cars in Battlefield. Bumper cars with RPGs, bro. That's where it's at. That's what all our content's going to be. The fastest bumper car, actually, if you equip the super engine.
Shut up. Good. I like that.
That's what my content's going to be in 4 months from now. It's going to be bumper car meta.
That's good.
So I'm really happy with it. I think the game is fun right now. It's got all those problems that we talked about, but it's still very good and very fun at the base. I think every Battlefield game has had a nice laundry list of problems when it launched. Even some of my favorites like BF1, which had a pretty darn good launch, had a nice big old laundry list of weapon balance and progression problems as well. So this is up there. It's good. It's fun. And there's nothing stopping them from injecting all the stuff that we want in the game from this point, which is like more bigger maps and better progression and better weapon balance and fix all the weird little bugs and stuff like that. And
it's nice. It's nice to have a game that has a lot of potential, but at the same time not be a dumpster fire, which has been the Battlefield MO forever. It's like, oh yeah, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, you have so much potential. And they did, and they eventually fulfilled that potential, but they started off so rough. And it's nice to not be in that rough state for months and months on end, and we have something that's actually good, right?
Yeah, for sure. Some of my favorite, BF3, BF4. BF3 is one of my favorite games, but it was so rough for so long where you're like, I love this game, but there's these bugs that are like game-breaking bugs that are just in the game for like 3 months straight. And everybody's abusing them and breaking everything. And then DICE is like, all right, we'll fix it.
All right, we'll get around to it.
You're like, we've been tortured for 3 months by this, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, to get out of the meta of Battlefield stuff, I'm starting to read articles about how EA's positioning Battlefield to take on Call of Duty and all this stuff. I think that's happening because the player numbers are so big. It's obviously a huge successful launch. Call of Duty's not generating the same kind of hype that it used to. And Byron Beatty has mentioned how they want to have a Battlefield title come out every year and all this other crap that I'm not a fan of, but especially with EA being taken over by a private firm that wants to make, as much money as possible.
Money.
Which isn't very different from it being publicly traded either. It seems like it'll be interesting to see what happens down the road. Hopefully they can hold on to Battlefield's integrity and not just Call of Duty-ify the whole experience. Because
what would that look like to you?
Well, okay, there was like a little clip going viral today with one of the bigger COD streamers playing the heck out of Battlefield and loving it and being like, man, this game would be so much better if it had Killstreaks in it, And like, what I'm saying is if you start to take enough of that Call of Duty player base in, they're going to want to make it more like Call of Duty. And it's going to be very hard for the powers that be at the top who want to see those dollar bills to go, no, we're going to maintain our integrity. Like that's a danger.
They did add essentially score streaks or squad streaks in Battlefield 5, and some mixed opinions, but for the most part, it didn't ruin the game. But you could argue that was kind of a kill streak in some way, right?
There were moments where like 4v1 rockets would come in back to back to back, and you're like, "What's happening?" I did like that system, but it was essentially a kill streak. Adjacent. COD kill streaks are so egregious that it's not hard to.
I would not want to see that at all in the game. Oh, you got 5 kills. Oh, call in a cruise missile or call a predator. No,
all that stuff.
I don't want
that.
I definitely do not want that.
I like the sci-fi ones where they're like, call in some giant electric robot balls that roll around the map and zap people.
Call in the balls.
That was a thing, Matt. That was a thing in one of the games. Just giant balls roll around and like kill people. You're just like, what am I playing right now? I don't get it.
So in the beta for Black Ops, you would call in a bunch of RC cars and they would just literally drive around the map and blow people up. So, I
like that.
Yep.
Man, we've been talking about Battlefield for a while. I can't believe we've gone this long without talking about Star Citizen, Matt.
I can't wait.
Favorite game.
My favorite game of all time. You know it.
Star Citizen did a thing that I wasn't happy about. They did their Citizencon, their yearly event, one day after Battlefield 6 launches.
Okay, that was the thing. Okay, I was like, what bad news happened this time around?
No,
how was the event overall? Positive?
I think it was good. People were giving it like 6, 7 out of 10, whatever, as a rating. It's funny because...
Do we have a release date for the single player?
The future.
The future is
sometime after this moment in time, Matt. That is the release date.
So last Citizencon, I believe they announced that they were going to be all hands on deck to polish. There isn't the game is.
They said it was coming out in 2026.
Yeah, they said it was feature complete, and then they were going to be balancing and fixing and bug fixing, polishing. So it's 2026.
Yeah. Okay. So, this is what killed my hype for Star Citizen for a while. Citizencon 2024, they said the game is feature complete and we are in the polish phase for Squadron 42.
Wait, that was 2024?
For Squadron 42.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, because we're 2025. Yeah, I gotcha.
Oh, no. This was 2023, I think.
No, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
It might have been.
Continue. I think it was 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was last year.
No, there were. Okay. There was one where they said Squadron 42 is feature complete and we're entering the polish phase. Then the next Citizencon. I could be wrong on this, but the timeline of events happened in this order and it might have been different events other than Citizencon. Anyway, so people were getting hyped. They're expecting Squadron to come out in 2025. Then in 2024 Citizencon, they said coming 2026. And people went, what?
That's right.
That just sucked the wind out of our sails. So this time around, they preemptively said that we are not discussing Squadron 42 at all during the Citizencon because our devs are nose to the grindstone trying to get it ready for release in 2026, which we hope we will hit, basically.
Oh, no.
And
which we hope?
Yeah.
It's not coming out 2026.
Nobody, not a person on this planet would be surprised if that release date slipped. I hope it doesn't, but I also want them to release a good game because I am very excited about that one. But so this year's Citizencon, they showed a new star system. So we have Stanton, and we got Lawless Pyro. The new star system is coming out next month, though. So we're going to get 2 star systems in 1 year, which is a good pace for Star Citizen. And they showed off something that I've been wanting them to get more into, and it's going to be a big thing, a big tech push end of this year and early next year will be instances. So you want to run a mission and you don't want to get ganked by the giant pirate squad that's ganking everybody in this area, you can take an instanced mission.
Isn't that the antithesis of what the game was supposed to be?
Matt, don't be this guy, okay? There is no MMO on the planet that works without instances. Even EVE Online, which has the most simulated player run economy and persistent game of anything I've ever played, has instanced missions where you fight against PvE and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they need it to work. Star Citizen needs it to work. I'm surprised it's taken them this long to sort of really come to that conclusion, because I've felt it for a long time. I'm like, none of this is going to work if every time I jump into a bunker, somebody can wait at the top of the elevator and just kill me when I come out and take all the loot that I just got. Like, that's a terrible design. So yeah, instances is going to be a major focus, and this will be instances for both PvP type content where you're like, hey, there's a ship with good loot on it. 10 players can join and try and fight over it, but it won't be.
So
yeah.
How will this work? Will you land on a planet and then you go into the instanced area and then it becomes an instance? Or is it you select the mission and all of a sudden you're the only person around? Like how does that function? Because I thought the whole appeal of, especially in like Pyro and stuff like that, you go out, you do you do a mission, you get the resources, and then you need to take it back to your home base where you've created your own little plot of land and everything. But in anywhere in between there, you could be taken out by pirates and other players to be able to steal that. And that was like the whole like appeal of the content in the long run, is that it's going to be player driven. So if you have an instance in there, how's that work?
Okay, so I'll explain it. It's not that complicated once you understand the basics. So
hit me with it.
Say you take a mission that's like, this guy's in trouble. He needs your support. He's getting attacked by these pirates. Go help him out. You take the mission. You're in the persistent world. You fly out of your hangar in your persistent world. Maybe you grab some friends in the persistent world. You punch in the jump coordinates and you jump to a instanced location. That location exists at a coordinate in the system, but if somebody else comes to that exact location, they won't see you there. You'll be in your own little private instance of that universe right there.
Okay.
You'll run the mission. You won't get ganked by somebody who's waiting to gank you and screw up your whole progression. You can run more fun story content. Hopefully the NPCs will be running at a nicer tick rate because you're in an instance server. I hope, dear God.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to work. And then you complete it, you get your loot, and then you can jump out. And once you jump out, you are now back in the persistent world. They can. Okay. Yeah. So they could do this.
So the warping is the thing that causes the instance to move between instances?
It could be a warp. It could be an elevator. It could be a door that you pass through. It could be anything. So as long as there's a good solid way for you to disconnect from the current universe and move into an instance one, that's where it could be. So other examples they had were like bunker systems and stuff where you could be on one of those big city planets like Area 18, which is the city planet. And you could take a mission there and then go into an elevator and you go down the elevator and now you're in an instanced underground facility.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah.
Fighting NPCs. Yeah.
Right.
So those are the ways it could work. They also mentioned that they're going to redo Siege of Orison, which was that big FPS event that happened in the Cloud City. Did you do that with me? Did I drag you into that?
The PvP I participated in is I went to Pyro and there was an area inside of the main structure that was like PvP, and it was one of the most laggy, worst PvP experiences I've ever had. Bad. It was bad.
So those really kind of areas need this instance server tech so that when you go in, they go, here's the dedicated server. This is how many people can join it.
Just for that. Right.
And we're not going to push it past these limits that we've tested so that and we can go, hey, who's in this region? Let's put people with similar pings in the same instance together and curate the system as opposed to having you fighting guys in Japan and Germany and stuff like that and having crap frame rate or crap.
Well, when you frame it like that, doesn't sound so bad. But okay, so do you see where I was kind of coming from though? With like, I thought that was the whole point of the game was to have this.
So your bases and the places that you build on planets and all that will still be in the persistent world, and there'll still be plenty of missions that exist in the persistent world. If you take a hauling mission, you're still going to be hauling across persistent space and all that kind of stuff. So they're just going to move a good portion of the mission system that is meant to be more or less completed either by yourself or with a group of people into instanced environments so that they function properly. But they can do it with bigger events too. So like Siege of Orson, which is a big ground assault. They're like, yeah, we tried to do it with 100 players and it was a nightmare. The servers just couldn't do it.
Explode,
And so now we're going to instance it, and we're like, yeah, you know what? It actually plays pretty well when you bring a party of like 15 to 20 people to do this mission. So now we can custom design the whole experience around a very specific amount of players. And if more people show up to do it, they will be put in their own instance of it and shoved off into nice...
You mean how people have been doing it for decades on the, for online gaming?
They are learning how to make a video game over here. We can scream all we want how they are screwing up ahead of time, but they have to make their own mistakes and rectify them many years later. But it also explain them to us like they've discovered them for the first time, and they had to do all this stuff ahead of time to realize that they had to go the right way. As opposed to anyone who's played an MMO before, like World of Warcraft that has had instances for decades and shown everybody how to do it. Now they're like, we've come up with this idea for instances. You're like, oh yeah, every MMO on the planet. Yeah. You guys are geniuses.
So besides that, was there any big announcements?
Nyx, the new system Nyx looks really cool.
Exciting. What will there be to do on Nyx?
So there's going to be some missions.
Okay.
And the Vandal are in Nyx. So
Vandal.
You will be fighting Vandal. There's a mission there that looks, it's basically they ripped off the Death Star trench run, and you have to do that mission. Okay. And then you're like fighting Vandal, and there's a hint that a Vandal capital ship is there as part of one of the missions.
That's cool.
So the Vandal look really cool. Their assets are pristine. And I said assets, Matt. Don't get weird on me. The spaceships.
That's all you, man. I wasn't even knowing where you're going with that until you made it.
When you have a blank look, and I don't know what you're thinking sometimes, but their ships look really cool. I've been wanting to fight them forever because they've been teased for like a decade now. And we've seen their little fighters and stuff, and the fighters are cool and stuff, but nothing big in capital class E. And so we're going to get some big old alien ships to fight on some big missions that involve like docking on Idrises to refuel your fighter, and then going back out and fighting in this dogfight, running trench runs to blow up reactors inside of bases, the Vandal ships coming in, big beams taking out capital ships. It looks really cool. Now, granted, every time Star Citizen has initiated an event like this with incredible marketing and incredible visuals that get you all hyped up for it, the actual experience is a laggy disaster. And I am under no illusion that this one is somehow going to be any different. But it looked really cool. Like if I showed you the trailer, you'd be like, damn, that looks cool. I want to do all that stuff.
I'll check it out. Yeah.
Basically, the way they present the game, you're like, that looks amazing. That's what I want to do. All of that looks fantastic. And then you get there.
You play it.
Yeah. And it doesn't work, and it's super buggy. But the new system looks great. The art looks great. There's all kinds of cool missions that they have planned for it. And they're crafting the narrative a bit more. Also, they're pushing their planet tech even further. And I'm like, guys, just chill on the planet tech for a while. But then I saw what they're doing, and I'm like, how... It just looks so good. Like their new procedurally generated planets look as good as like a hand curated Battlefield map. It's insane, but just
Which is incredible.
Yeah, over the surface of an entire planet.
The question I have to ask is that why?
So that you can build a farm, Matt, and put your space cows in the farm and do stuff.
Okay, and and once they get there, that's great.
Yeah. They didn't really show much of the building system. They teased a little bit of the crafting.
Bro, we ain't getting this for another 5 years, I swear to God.
I know. Well, I'm not really holding out for Star Citizen. I'm holding out for Squadron. That'll be the first step. And that's what I'm focusing on. And Star Citizen stuff is cool, and I'll hop in from time to time, but I'm not expecting it to become a daily game that I can play for quite a while still.
I hear you.
It's still a fun game to be a fair weather fan of, where you're like, whenever they do something cool, you're like, oh, neat. I'm going to jump in and have that experience for a little while. And sometimes it's a good experience and sometimes it's a total disaster. But yeah, once you go in with those expectations, it's not so bad.
Well, cool. So overall, decent.
Yeah, I think it was decent. And I'm glad that it was one, a remote event, and two, a shorter event, because I ain't got time for these 8-hour long multi-day
extravaganza
cons. Yeah, and then they'll spend like an hour doing a costume contest or something. I'm like, no.
Hey man, come on. You got to have some cosplay.
That's great for the people who went there and bought tickets.
That alien asset.
Yeah, but yeah. I like the what I like about cheesy sci-fi, and this really is the foundation of most modern sci-fi still, because we're still basing it off of like Star Wars and Star Trek and all the old classics, is all the aliens kind of are like the size of people and can more or less interact with us in human type ways. And
yeah,
I love it. I love it. It's just funny and fun and campy. And I like that Star Citizen is the same. All the aliens are kind of like, yeah, we got 2 arms, 2 legs. This guy's kind of like a turtle person. And this guy's sort of like a spiky person. And you're just like, all right, whatever, it's fun. I hope that always exists. I hope campy sci-fi just remains a thing forever, and we don't, have to get too crazy with stuff like The Expanse, where it's proto-molecule and interdimensional species.
I mean, I love, one of my favorite sci-fi is Arrival, and those aliens were dope. Those aliens were great.
Arrival is fantastic. I need to watch that one again, because it really is. It's just one of those fun concepts where you're just like, whoa, what if a different species interpreted time differently? That is cool.
Yeah.
Not a spoiler at all.
Not a spoiler at all. You've ruined it.
I've ruined it. Well, we've chatted about a lot of stuff, or a lot of Battlefield, I should say. And hopefully my 5-year-old screaming.
Right I can hear the little one. They sound like they're having a hell of a time over there.
Okay, I was wondering.
Are they all right?
She's fine. This is 5-year-old girl.
Yeah.
So this is probably an argument over, I don't know, she telling her to go to the bathroom, or telling her to wash her hands after she gets home from school, or something. This it goes from
Life's
zero.
Hard when you're a kid. It
goes
tough.
from 0 to 11 at the drop of a hat.
Instantly.
Yeah, just instantly. You're like, hey, could you do that? And you're just getting yelled at. So
yeah,
anyone who's got little girls, I'm sure can relate. You're welcome for a little bit of behind the scenes podcast listeners.
From Level Dad.
Yeah, I do have a nice office here that is semi-soundproofed and cut off from the rest of the house, but there is a resonance frequency of little girl screaming that just penetrates any surface.
Penetrates anything, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably for the best in the grand scheme of things when you think about it.
It's true. I mean, you want to know when your kids are in trouble, right?
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, okay, so trying to wrap up the podcast here, we could talk about some other news, but it all seems insignificant compared to BF6, and that's all I've been doing for the past week.
All I've been basically playing for, yeah.
I
love it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I'll kind of wrap it up there. BF6 is great. I do recommend it, but I'm not going to tell anyone out there to go buy it. I don't know why everybody says, should I buy this game? It's like,
you're going to have to make your own choice. There were betas, and you could have played the beta, and then you would have known.
There are betas. You can watch me play it. You can watch Matt play it. You can see if it looks good. Make up your own mind. I'm liking it. You're liking it.
It's not perfect. No. It's definitely not perfect, but it's a fun Battlefield.
Yeah, and it's also a Battlefield. There are no perfect Battlefield games. They've all launched with their own set of problems. As much as I loved BF1, that weapon balance had so many problems at the start, and it didn't take long for people to really zero in on that and be like, "Oh, I don't like this at all."
Yeah.
So, they all have their issues, but feels like we're back. It really does.
It does. Yeah.
And it's exciting. And
it is.
We'll have to get some more squad up games in soon.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thanks for dropping by the podcast. We appreciate you all very much. If you want to support us further, you can check out our Patreon and come by for our live podcast that we record on Mondays, where you get to see all kinds of cool stuff like my kids screaming in the background and us, spouting facts that are totally incorrect and then having to cut them entirely from the podcast. It's all kinds of fun. And regardless of whether or not you're a Patreon member, you will always get Matt's incredibly helpful advice every episode. Matt, take it away.
So this week's very helpful advice is sometimes the simplest explanation is the correct answer explanation. When someone says something along the lines of, the reason why the UI is so bad in Battlefield 6 is because DICE is trying to manipulate you, you could be like, okay, I like the fact that you're thinking critically and you're asking questions, but maybe, just maybe, it's bad because they made a UI that was designed around what people are comfortable with on Netflix or Hulu. And it's not because they're trying to manipulate you, it's because they designed a really bad UI.
Yeah.
I had someone the other day say that Battlefield's UI is so bad because they're trying to manipulate you. I'm like, what? Why though? Why would they? What are they manipulating you into doing? Could it be just the UI is bad because it's bad, and no other alternative motive?
Also, any person that's worked for like a corporation like this for a while will know how ineffective they are at executing really specific plans to do specific things. You're like, no, they're not manipulating. They couldn't even this is them just trying to get something functional, and just somebody being like, all right, that's fine.
Like,
I guess.
Hey, everyone knows the UI for all these other apps. Why don't we just adopt it into ours so they're comfortable with it? It doesn't work very well. I don't think they did a good job, but yeah. So sometimes the simplest explanation is the right one.
Also, I've played like 10 games now that all have that exact same UI. Like they're all just heading in that direction of just like, I don't know. It's so simple. You couldn't break it. You couldn't possibly get lost. Anywhere you go, it takes you to play the game somehow. Like they're just treating us like we can't do anything.
It's possible though. Maybe they are trying to manipulate us, and we're just sheep now and we don't understand.
I hope there's a big
could be. Could be.
I hope there's some big evil conspiracy theory. It'd be fun, spice it up a little. Spice it up.
You will play this mode and only this mode, and you will like it.
Yeah. Yep.
Why? I don't know.
We're all going to be buying Nicki Minaj skins in the next month.
That's it.
Yep.
There we go.
It's going to show up in that first icon there, and you won't be able to ignore it. Be like, must buy Nicki Minaj.
Yes.
It's only $12.99, bro.
And who knows? Maybe that is the direction they're heading with it.
Yeah. I don't think they will. The skins are pretty lackluster right now. They seem afraid of doing anything creative.
Yeah. Which I'm okay with them being hesitant at the beginning. I think that's good because they got slapped it down in the past for good reason.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you very much. We'll be back on next Wednesday. And have a good week. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Take care.